Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपी कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदानेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। वो श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की
जय
जय।
हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन।
हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा।
सचिन
Hare Krishna everyone. Hare Krishna.
कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन।
हरे कृष्णा रवि हरे कृष्णा सोहम
हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्णा। हैप्पी महानवमी टू एवरीवन। अनिल जी बता रहे थे आज की नवमी इज नोन एज महानवमी। दुर्गा अष्टमी के बाद की जो नवमी होती है महानवमी होती है। तरुण कुछ पूजा करे हो लगता है नवमी की। म्यूट।
सॉरी, हाँ, नवमी की पूजा की है, नवरात्र के व्रत हुए अभी आज खत्म।
क्या बात है, पूरा व्रत करते हो लाइक बिना कैसे करते हो?
एक टाइम खाना, एक टाइम भोजन लेते हैं और बाकी दिन पूरा फलाहार और दूध वगैरह ऐसे कुछ।
क्या बात है, वेरी नाइस वेरी नाइस।
हो जाता है।
वेरी गुड।
वही कल अष्टमी का शाम में भोजन वगैरह और सेलिब्रेट पूजा के लिए 2-3 फ्रेंड्स आ गए तो मेरा सेशन मिस हो गया कल, ताकि आई कॉट ऑफ फ्रॉम द रिकॉर्डिंग। पर चलो,
कूल, सो नाइस, या कूल। तो चलो शुरू करते हैं वापस। तो कल बेसिकली व्हाट वी वर रीडिंग वाज, जैसा कि हम लोग देख रहे हैं, महात्मा विदुर ने मैत्रेय मुनि को पूछा है कि how did Lord Brahma expanded this universe through Shwambhu Manu, या तो श्वाम्भु मनु और सतरूपा उनकी पत्नी, उनके साथ में they start along with Devahuti who is their daughter, they start to go out and their goal is to find the right husband for Devahuti. Meanwhile, as we saw, Karda Muni has been doing tapasya for thousands of years, 10,000 years, and then Lord Vishnu ने उनको दर्शन दिए। और जब विष्णु भगवान ने दर्शन दिए तो कर्दम मुनि ने उनकी प्रार्थना करी, और प्रार्थना करने के बाद में भगवान विष्णु ने बताया कर्दम मुनि को कि नेक्स्ट डे Shwambhu Mani will come with Satrupa, and that's when he is going to offer his daughter to you. And then also Lord Vishnu told him that I will also be manifested, like Kapil Muni, जो सांख्य पद्धति में जिनको माना जाता है अवतार ऑफ लॉर्ड विष्णु, will also be manifested through Devahuti and Karda Muni, is what Lord Vishnu told him. And then Lord Vishnu went back to Vaikuntha Dham. Then we saw how Garud, how Garud's wings, dono pank, were compared with Samved, like how the Samved Kirtan, is heard by the Rishi Munis when Garud flies. Yeah. So then, as we see, Shambhu Manu and Satrupa reaches to Kardamuni's Kutiya. Yeah, so where Kardamuni is doing tapasya for the Saraswati river, and we also saw it's called Bindu Sarovar because wahan par, when Lord saw Kardamuni's tapasya, he had some asru drops fell in that place. That's why it's called Bindu Sarovar. Okay, so then those shlokas describe what Shambhu, Manu, and Satrupa sees in Kardamuni. Yeah, so what is mentioned here is entering that most sacred spot with his daughter and going near the sage. The first monarch, yeah, Shambhu Manu, saw the sage sitting in his hermitage, having just propitiated the sacred fire by pouring oblations into it. His body shone most brilliantly, though he had engaged in austere penance for a long time, right? As we know, 10,000 years of tapasya, but his body shone most brilliantly. He was not emaciated, for the Lord had cast his affectionate sidelong glance upon him, and he had also heard the nectar flowing from moon-like words of the Lord. Yeah, it says nectar flowing from the moon-like words of the Lord. Like, just think about this. Like if Lord himself is talking to you, that's like a nectar, yeah, flowing. Like it's mentioned here. It says that, hata amrit kala piyus sravanena che. So when Lord himself is talking to Kardamuni, yeah, that's how it's sound. Yeah, that's like amrit. And it also says here, Vidyota Manav Vapusha. That's like he was like shining like a light, even though tapasya griyujachiram, even though he was doing tapasya for a long time. And it also says that the sage was tall, his eyes were large, like the petals of a lotus, and he had matted locks on his head. He was clad in rags. Shambhu Manu approached and saw him to be somewhat soiled, saw him to be somewhat soiled because of long tapasya, right? But then he saw him like an unpolished gem, like the gem which had just come out. It says here, Aharnam Sanskritam. Yeah. So that's how Kardamuni was seen by Shambhu Manu and Satrupa. And actually it's a long purport, but very nice purport. So we are going to read this very nice purport. Let's read this, Soham.
Here are some descriptions of a Brahmachari yoga. In the morning, the first duty of Brahmachari seeking spiritual elevation in the Huda Hasana, to offer sacrificial oblations to the Supreme Lord. Those engaged in Brahmacharya cannot sleep until 7 or 9 o'clock in the morning. They must rise early in the morning, at least 1.5 hours before the sun rises, and offer oblations. Owing the sage, they must chant the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, as referred by Lord Chaitanya. Kalau nasti eva gatir anyata. There is no other alternative, no other alternative in this age. So chanting the holy name of the Lord, the Brahmachari must rise early in the morning, and after placing himself, should chant the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so some descriptions are given of a Brahmachari yogi. Yeah, and it's mentioned that must rise early in the morning. And what is early in the morning? It's 1.5 hours before the sun rises. Yeah, so I don't know how many of us are able to get up early in the morning, but this is what is recommended. I know it's early morning in India, and Ravi is dialing in from India, so I'm sure that's early morning there. But the point is, we should try that, right? We should try to at least get up before 1.5 hours. And then once we get up, we must chant the holy name of the Lord. Like in those Satyug and is what we were reading, right? The Satyug, Krita Yuge. There they could do tapasya and havan for so long, right? But which is not possible in Kali Yuga. So what is recommended in Kali Yuga is chant the holy name of the Lord Hare Krishna. Yeah. And as referred by Lord Chaitanya, we saw that last time also. It says, Kalau nasti, eva nasti, iva gatir anyatha. Basically, there is no other alternative than Harir Nam, Harir Nam, Harir Nam, Kevalam, which is the chanting the holy name of the Lord. So the brahmachari must rise early in the morning and placing himself should chant the holy name of the Lord. And even if not brahmachari, we should, whenever we can chant, we should definitely try to chant anyways. So let's continue reading this, Tarun.
From the very features of the sage, it appeared that he had undergone great austerities. That is a sign of one observing brahmacharya, the vow of celibacy. If one lives otherwise, it will be manifest in the lust visible in his face and body. The word Vidyotamanam indicates that the brahmachari feature showed in his body. That is a certificate that one has undergone great austerity in yoga. A drunkard or smoker or sex monger can never be eligible to practice yoga. Generally, yogis look very skinny because of their not being comfortably situated, but Kardama Muni was not emaciated, for he had seen the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Yeah. Ajay?
Sure. Here the word snigdha panga means that he was fortunate enough to see the Supreme Lord face to face. He looked healthy because he had directly received the nectarine sound vibrations from the lotus lips of the personality of Godhead. Similarly, one who hears the transcendental sound vibration of the holy names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, also improves in health. We have actually seen that many brahmacharis and grihasthas connected with the International Society for Krishna Consciousness have improved in health and a luster has come to their face. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sachin?
It is essential that a brahmachari engaged in spiritual advancement look very healthy and lustrous. The comparison of the sage to an unpolished gem is very appropriate. Even if a gem just taken from a mine looks unpolished, the luster of the gem cannot be stopped. Similarly, although Kardam was not properly dressed and his body was not properly cleansed, his overall appearance was gem-like. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So the bottom line is that chanting is the most important part. Yeah. So let's start with Shlok 48. Anilji.
जी हाँ अथोट जमुपायातं नृदेवं प्रणतं पुरः सपर्यया पर्यग्रहत प्रतिनद्यानुरूपया. Seeing that the monarch had come to his hermitage and was bowing before him, the sage greeted him with benediction and received him with due honor. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Shambhu Muni, Shambhu Manu and Satrupa reaches to Kardamuni's place. So Kardamuni greets with the benediction. Soham, if you read this.
Emperor Svyambhuva Manu not only approached the cottage of dry leaves possessed by the hermit Kardama, but also offered respectful obeisances unto him. Similarly, it was the duty of the hermit to offer blessings to kings who used to approach his hermitage in the jungle. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, nice. Ravi?
Yes. Kruhitar karanmasin sanyatam pranimyan munihi Smarana Bhagavadahe Mityaha Shalakshanaya Gira. After receiving sage's attention, the king sat down and was silent, recalling the instructions of the Lord. Kardama then spoke to the king as follows, delighting him with his sweet accent. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So then Kardamuni is now speaking. Yeah. To Shambhu Manu. Yeah. Tarun.
Nunam Chakranamanam Deva Satam Shananaya Te Vadhaya Chasata Yaswata Hareha Shaktihirya Palini. The tour you have undertaken, O Lord, is surely intended to protect the virtuous and kill the demons, since you embody the protecting energy of Sri Hari. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Kardamuni is telling this to Shambhu Manu that the tour he have undertaken, right? That he has come to meet Kardamuni before that, right? After the tour is to protect the, and to kill the demons and the virtuous tour, because he's saying is Hareya Saktirhi Palini, because Kardamuni can see that he has the protecting energy of Sri Hari. Yeah. Sachin.
Yokendra Dvagnindra Vayunam Yamadharma Pracheta Sam Rupani Sthana Adat Se Tasmai Shuklaya Te Namaha. When necessary, you assume the part of the sun god, the moon god, Agni, the god of fire, Indra, the lord of paradise, Vayu, the wind god, Yama, the god of punishment, Dharma, the god of piety, and Varuna, the god presiding over the waters. All obeisances to you, who are none other than Lord Vishnu. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, right? So Kardamuni recognized, right? Shambhu Manu is son of Lord Brahma and has all the qualities of Lord Vishnu. Yeah. So it says you become like Agni, Indra, Vayu, Yam, Dharma, Prachet, Sam. Yeah. So that's how is being described. Soham.
Since the sage of Kadama was a Brahmana and Swayambhuva was a Satriya, the sage was not supposed to offer obeisances to the king because socially his position was greater than the king's. But he offered his obeisances to Swambhuva Manu, because as Manu, king and emperor, he was the representative of the Supreme Lord.
Yeah, Soham. So the Supreme Lord is always worshipable, regardless of whether one is a Brahman, Kshatriya, or a Shudra. As the representative of the Supreme Lord, the king deserves respectful obeisances from everyone. So even though Rishi Kardam, right, himself was a Maharishi, he offered obeisances to